Hey guys, Martinkin here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so I just wanted to make a video talking about this. It did actually start, well, I think it wasn't even yesterday, it might have been the day before actually. This was added into the news on the 16th, so technically it was yesterday, but it was at reset, so in the wee hours of the morning for me in the UK, right? When I woke up on Tuesday morning, it was already active and live in the game. But we have another Sandland crossover special campaign, and this is to celebrate the release of the actual game that has come out on, I know it's on consoles, I assume it's on PC as well, but the Sandland game where the Fiend Prince Beelzebub embarks on an adventure in search of the legendary spring hidden in the desert. So another campaign. We did get those free Beelzebub cards a little while ago that are basically just like the Roshi statues or the Icaruses that we got, which I think we might have got afterwards, I can't remember now, but they are items that basically sit in your box that you can sell for Zenny, but they are collectible items. Now, obviously this time around, we've gotten a couple more of the Beelzebub ones because, you know, as far as we were aware, if you'd sold all the ones that you got last time, then you wouldn't be able to get any more. But obviously that is not the case, and there have been some added in with this celebration. I would still say for collection purposes, it's worth hanging on to at least one, just because it's like a cool box trophy to have, right, to say that you were around at that time. But if you need the Zenny, then obviously you could sell them. I normally do the stuff like farming EZAs past stage 30 to get a bunch of the Silver Hercule statues and then sell those. But of course, having played the game for so long, I have tons of Zenny anyway, right? So complete missions during the campaign period to get a wallpaper and dragon stones. A lot of people often ask me about the Broly wallpaper that I have. And obviously, if you weren't around at the time, you couldn't get it. And that will be the case with this as well. If we take a look at the other news entry for the actual special missions themselves, we can see on here that they are basically all for logging in. By logging in for 5 days, you get the Sandland wallpaper, which is the crew on the battle tank. Decorate your home screen with the wallpaper Sandland game crossover wallpaper. So you can see here, it is literally just log in for 1 day, 3 days, 5, 7, 10, and then we've got one at the bottom here for use the battle tank support item and clear a stage once, and then use the battle tank item and clear a stage 3 times. It means using 3 of the item in total, but the reward gets you 4 of the item back. So you get 1 extra one, but you also get a stone for the 3 uses 1 as well. And then of course we just have the normal login bonus. So on the first login, everybody got 3 of the battle tank items. Obviously if you didn't get any, it would be kind of hard to do the mission where you have to use one. And we got another one of the Beelzebub cards that you can trade in. And then you can see every day, not only are we getting meat items, but we're getting the battle tank item. And then there's a couple more Beelzebub statues as well on the 20th and the 21st. And then a couple down here on the 27th, 28th, and 29th. So we get a bunch of those extra in total. You can see if you go into the mission tab here for the actual Sandland missions, they're basically all just log in each day and then use the item. Now, I haven't actually used the item yet, so I haven't done the mission for using it once or using it 3 times, but I thought it would be interesting enough to talk about this celebration a little bit and the fact that it is going on, and then jump into an event and actually use the item, because the item itself does actually seem like it is quite good. Now obviously you guys know I do a lot of no item challenge runs and stuff. I usually do, if I'm doing a video showcasing a team, I try and do no item runs for some of these events, but most people don't care about that, right? Like most people just use items, especially if they want to use teams that are just, you know, just for fun. And that's perfectly fine, of course. And in that respect, this item is actually going to be quite good. If we go into the actual support items part of the thing here and take a look for the tank, I'm assuming, oh no, they're not right at the bottom. The battle tank thing here is delays a single targeted enemy's attack for 1 turn and lowers that enemy's defense by 40% for 1 turn. Effect does not stack when used more than once. So basically what this means is this item is like a Ghost Usher, but it does only target 1 enemy. So it's like the Pycon or the Tech Android's active skill, where you can target 1 enemy, remove all their actions for the turn, but then you also lower their defense by 40%. Now, defense lowering is not as crazy effective as a like status effect as it has been in the past with certain events, right? Like the OG Broly event where you could only deal damage with him to him with certain units, or if you lowered his defense past a certain level. But it's still a nice little extra, right? Like, it doesn't have a huge effect, but you do a little bit more damage than if you hadn't used that, as long as the boss is not immune to defense lowering, which of course some of them are. But we'll just go ahead and jump into an event here quickly just so we can actually use it and see it in action. Okay, so we're jumping into the Fusion Zamasu red zone. This feels like a pretty appropriate stage to try out this team, or try out this item on, I should say. I think what we'll do, should we just go for you in slot 1? Because we've got all the physical orbs here. I think that's probably the best idea. So when it comes to this team, this rotation, I don't think it's necessary to use the item. But with the next rotation, I think it very much is. Fusion Zamasu is one of those fights where, because he has AoEs right from the start and they hit pretty hard, it's very annoying and basically boxes out certain units. Like any unit that's just not good at taking AoEs, right? Any unit that needs to attack to get their defense, any unit that needs to be attacking in a certain slot or something like that, right, where it doesn't trigger until they attack, is not good against AoEs in general, and therefore is not good against Fusion Zamasu. Is why so many people didn't like this event when it first came out, because it basically just boxes out so many of the units in the game, which is super annoying. So an item like this could obviously be very, very useful, because on the next turn, you got to dodge this, right? Good stuff, God Goku, thank you. 60% chance to dodge. Doesn't dodge. Let's go. Oh, but dodges the normal straight afterwards, of course, because that is the meme. But yeah, so we have on the next rotation a unit that can be very, very fun to use on the STR Super Saiyan 3 Goku team, which is the STR LR Gogeta from the 5th anniversary that has his EZA. And of course him, along with the Vegito as well, are two of those units that suffered massively from the release of this event, because, you know, you want to put them in slot 3 on the first turn, ideally, so that they attack in slot 3, they get the dodge chance, they ideally dodge the attacks in slot 3, and then when they come back on the next rotation, they immediately transform into blue, and then you're good to go with your transformation. They have the 100% chance to dodge. And everything's looking good. So, of course, in this particular rotation, we're getting AoE'd in slot 1, because of course we are. And Gogeta has 169k defense start of turn, which means that from the Zamasu AoE, he is taking anywhere between like 2 and 300k, potentially. So, we'll go ahead and use our battle tank here. Delay the target enemy's attack for 1 turn, lower the defense by 40%. You can actually see, of course, that the Zamasu is immune to defense lowering, so that part of the item doesn't actually do anything. So realistically, if you're using it against one of these tougher bosses, you could really say, which is kind of funny, is that it's a worse Ghost Usher, because it technically only targets the one enemy. But of course, in these kind of events, it doesn't really matter, because you're only fighting one enemy anyway, for the most part. But yeah, the fact that most of the toughest bosses disable defense reduction does mean that that aspect of the item is kind of pointless. Of course, it does make some interesting play, I guess, if we do get an event where you've got to fight multiple enemies and you're using a unit like, say, Pycon or the Tech Androids for their Ghost Usher shenanigans. They can target one enemy specifically and use their active skill, and then you could target the other enemy and use this item, and then neither of the enemies are attacking you during that turn. But obviously, I feel like the Zamasu and even potentially Omega are pretty good candidates for using this item because of situations like this, which allows us to run STR Gogeta. Because now, is he going to finish Gogeta Zamasu this turn? No. So what this means is we probably are going to get to the turn where we get Gogeta come back, but that will be during the physical Zamasu phase. And once we get to that point, we don't have to worry about taking AoEs anymore. So then Gogeta can cook, right? So I think what we want to do here, the AoEs are still potentially a problem, but we need to go ahead and do this. Ideally, Goku doesn't fraud me out in slot 1, but we'll see. That's 6 orbs. I want to get the orbs for Kefla, but if I do this and the way these fall down, is that still going to be 6? Of course it's not. All right, well, we'll just do this and hope for the best, I guess, when it comes to the AoE. I know Kefla can be dodge or die. Now, the one thing, I should have checked it in this, I guess, but I want to be able to do the mission, which you have to do 3 separate times. I think if you use the item again the same turn afterwards, it doesn't do anything, right? Because that's how a Ghost Usher item works. And because this is a support item, I can only assume that it works in the same way. So I don't think you can use the item 2 turns in a row. Obviously, let me know down below in the comment section if you want to risk trying it out. Because the other thing I guess I wanted to say about the item is the fact that I'm hoping, of course, that once this event is over, these items just get added so that they like randomly show up in the barbershop, potentially randomly show up in the capsules that you pick up on maps when you're on missions. Because otherwise, we're only going to get a certain number of these and then they're gone and you don't get any more, which obviously would be kind of annoying. So let's go ahead and use this. We got the super on the first turn. It's in the middle. Okay, so let's do that. What is Piccolo's defense? Although it's only turn 4, so Piccolo still has guard and has 649k. So yeah, I think we could probably get away with putting him in slot 1 here. So we'll do this, do this, and then just grab. Just grab those. Get a couple more same type orbs here because Piccolo should tank these for. Okay, well it's not quite double digits, but it's low enough damage. But yeah, so the item essentially helps us to get a unit through who's not going to be super good against the AoEs through that first phase. And of course, we do still have a second one if we wanted to use it. But given the situation that we're in now, we obviously don't have to. Goku is going to get the Dragon Fist counter here. Of course, the skip is still on, so we won't see the animation, but that's fine. So hit the Dragon Fist. We don't have a lot of links active. We've got a little bit of support from the STR Piccolo. And then, of course, STR Piccolo at the end should be able to tank this relatively well. We're on like a full movie heroes team, so he should be fine. He does ideally need to get hit to get the extra buff first. Well, he still took 90k. But then, of course, in comes Gogeta. And with the team build that we're running, of course, the whole big thing is that the item gets us past the first phase, where we have the AoEs. And now in this phase, we don't have AoEs. So we can literally go ahead and just do this. Have you in slot 1, just go crazy. And then I guess we can grab this for you. We're not going to use the Dragon Fist thing here because I know you can reset the app and all that stuff, but you guys know I don't like to do that in videos. The number of times we've done Fusion Zamasu and he doesn't super attack the turn after the first turn, so he like doing the other Goku's standby is a complete waste of time. So knowing my luck, of course, he will super attack this time. But yeah, the item helps us get through that AoE phase for characters that are not good against AoEs, and then you still have a second one if you want to use that as well. I mean, we could use that to pretty much like lock in a W. Like we could use it on the next turn, for example. I say that, of course, you know, as if we have got the W locked in here, right? Because, damn, 17 mil. That's a friend Rainbow Goku linked up with the blue Vegeta, like the blue Gogeta. They make a very good combo. Obviously, they're like over in a flash, but then Goku basically just has all attack links. So big damage there from the Goku. You'll love to see that. But yeah, so the item can be pretty good. The only downside, of course, comes to weighing up, as we said before, like how many of these are you going to get? Because one of the things that could be very useful is, you know, you think about like the anniversary, they add in missions for, you know, like the Beast Gohan event, everyone on JP going on about how crazy the Artificial Life Forms event was. I'm pretty sure, I'd have to actually double check, but I'm pretty sure the mission was just to use Artificial Life Forms. It doesn't require you to not use items as well. And that's one of the places where the better support items really are going to come in handy, right? Because if you have a mission in the game that is to do beat an event with a certain team, and that team is a bit shaky, or your box for that team is not particularly good, then an item like this is going to be super helpful. So I think we're probably I'm just gonna end off here, because as I've talked about many times before, like if I just go ahead and use the Orange Piccolo transformation, then it pretty much means we are going to guaranteed win this event now. Because we're going to stop him from being able to super, which means once we come out of the Giant Piccolo mode, as long as Giant Piccolo, I mean, he could kill him, I guess, depending on how many like additionals and crits he gets. But I mean, you can see here, he doesn't do terrible damage, but yeah, he's certainly not doing crazy damage. We would need to be getting additional supers and crits fairly consistently if we were going to kill Zamasu during this phase, the Giant transformation. But it's not impossible. It's just very unlikely. And then once we come out of this phase, he won't be able to super as long as he supers during these turns. And then, yeah, depending on how many attacks are in slot 1, given the rotation that we've got, probably just put Super Saiyan 3 Goku there, and then we'll be GG. So there you go. We don't really need to go all the way through to the end here. Piccolo might actually just finish off Zamasu on this next turn. But let me know what you guys think of the battle tank item down below. Have you tried it out? Have you completed the mission? Obviously, ideally, you need to use it and beat an event 3 times. Of course, I need to actually finish the event here to make sure I get the item and complete the mission. So, I mean, I guess we could, for the sake of that, I guess we could just play it out so that that is actually in the video, because I am kind of interested to see whether Orange Piccolo does actually manage to finish off Zamasu here, because, you know, these normal attacks, even if they're crits, are not doing a lot, but we are going to get a couple more supers off here as well. But yeah, it's interesting to see the Sandland thing, just a cool little additional extra. I don't know, like for me personally, I don't know a huge amount about Sandland as like the franchise, the movie, anything like that. So let me know if any of you guys out there are hyped for the release of the game or of just the movie in general. It's just kind of cool to get these little extra collab campaigns, like they did the thing for Breakers as well. You just get a few little extra items here and there, maybe a wallpaper, stuff like that. All of that kind of stuff, whilst it might not be anything too crazy, it's definitely better than them not doing anything. So having those little kind of crossover campaigns, I think is certainly something that is pretty cool and something I would like to see them do more of in the future, just because it gives you, you know, some extra things to get in the game. It's not exactly like content in terms of, you know, we didn't get like a new mission to do, but we got a whole new item, which is certainly very useful. And as we've already said, if you are coming up against certain missions from the anniversary and stuff like that, these are probably going to make it quite a lot easier to do specific events with specific teams by being able to use these better items, because a Ghost Usher is of course a very valuable item. Now, of course, the Ghost Usher itself has, if you want to weigh the two against each other, I guess, at the end here, is the Ghost Usher itself. You can just buy unlimited of them from the barbershop for Zenny, which I guess does give it a pretty big advantage, right? It doesn't do the defense debuffing, but as we've already said, there are many bosses in the game that are just straight up immune to that in the first place anyway. So I guess that effect isn't really making a huge impact. And of course, the Ghost Usher removes the attacks from all enemies if there are multiple, whereas this only does one. So if you're going to hold them up next to each other, the Ghost Usher item obviously is better than the Battle Tank, but it's a cool little addition. If we do get any events in the future where defense lowering can make an impact, like imagine if this item had existed when the STR Broly Dokkan event back in the day was a thing, like not only stopping him from attacking you, but then also lowering his defense so that your units can actually do damage to him, would have been a pretty nice little addition. So there you go. That's the Battle Tank item from the Sandland collaboration. I swear now it's going to take ages to load the missions page again. So I can, there we go. So we can go in and get our reward here, get another 2, which we can then use to complete the use 3 times mission. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Any of you guys excited about Sandland? If you want to let us know what you think about it, what's good about it for anyone who doesn't know. And yeah, get those missions done, get a few extra rewards, some extra items, a couple of stones. All good stuff. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.